Cursor AI is the fastest way to turn ideas into code for developers. Now, I was skeptical at first because I didn't really understand how Cursor AI is any different than Copilot or Code Whisperer, but after using it for a few days, I realized how reliant I was starting to become to the multi-model chatbot that I was speaking to that was also being able to predict my next move. In this video, we're going to be covering two main things. One, what is Cursor AI and why you should give it a try? And two, a coding example that demonstrates the power of Cursor AI by trying to clone a simple social media backend. If you're new to the channel, I'm Eric Roby, a software engineer with over a decade of experience, and I've helped thousands of developers learn and grow within their craft. So let's start with what is Cursor AI. Cursor AI is an IDE that tries to use different GPT models to provide autocomplete code recommendations, and it has chat ability to be able to talk about your code. It can look at a section of your code, an entire file or multiple files, or even the entire project to give coding advice and predictabilities. Now, these code predictabilities can be used by a model of your choice, so it can be used by OpenAI or Claude. It's really up to you. Now, what surprised me the most was the ease of integration of the chatbot and code predictability. There are really two ways you can talk with the chatbot. You can open up a side panel of the IDE, kind of like Copilot, by pressing Command L, and then you can discuss your code. Or you can ask questions directly in your code and ask for code generation based on the discussion or question that you're asking. And you can do this by pressing Command K. For example, in your code, you can say, create me an endpoint that does X, and it'll just create it for you real time inside your file. I think it's best to see Cursor live. So let's dive into Cursor AI and see how quickly we can clone a simple social media application. All right, so at first glance, we can see that Cursor looks very similar to Visual Studio Code. And that's because Cursor is a fork of Visual Studio Code with their own modifications that allow us to chat to models. I already have a virtual environment created that has fastapi, Uvicorn, and SQL Alchemy installed, and I just have a main.py file that's completely empty. So the very first thing that we can do is say Command K. This opens up a new code instructions, and it's going to add the code right here wherever my cursor is, which is line 1. We can configure different models. I'm going to leave it on Claude 3.5. And if for some reason Claude is down and it can't access it, it's going to automatically revert to OpenAI. So that's pretty cool. Now, I already have the initial question created, which is create me a backend Twitter clone. I'm using Twitter because I think Twitter is going to have a little bit more data in large language models than like X. That does not use any authentication to start and allows users to create posts and comment on posts. I want posts and comments to be able to have optional images. I want the app built using fastapi, SQL Alchemy, and SQLite 3. So let's see what this creates. So we can see that it's just going to automatically just create a whole bunch of stuff for us right here. And then it's going to ask us if we want to accept once it's done. And we can see that it's accepted. So looking through this, I am going to say, yeah, everything looks good for right now. So let's go ahead and say accept. Real quick, if you've enjoyed the video, please subscribe to be notified of upcoming videos. And check out my best-selling FastAPI course linked below. It added in all these imports, which from FastAPI, file, upload file, all the SQLite things that we need, some Pydantic, datetime, Uvicorn. Some of these imports aren't needed, but we can see what is going on inside. So it's going to create a new FastAPI application. It's going to have a database setup with our SQL Alchemy database, which is going to be SQLite, Twitter clone, which is correct. We need to create a new engine, session local, and then a base. That all looks good to me. We already have models where this post is going to be posts with an ID of primary key, content, image URL created at comments. Same thing with the comments, which has a foreign key relationship, I would assume. Right there has a foreign key relationship back to the post, and then a whole bunch of API endpoints. So the very first thing that we can see right here is inside our model tables, we have these date times that UTC is now becoming deprecated in Python. So if we hover over this, we can say AI fix in chat. So if we hover over this, it's going to tell the chatbot over here for the code presented, we get this error. The method UTC now in class datetime is deprecated. Use time zone aware objects to represent the date times, and it's going to ask and automatically create the question for us. And we get this chat over here to our right hand side. We can close the chat by doing Command L, and then we can kind of click it again, or we can reopen it by doing a Command L. If we go back, it'll tell us our previous chats, and we can just open up what we had before. So let's go ahead and check out and see how good this is. It's telling us to say we want to import this date time. So let's go back up here, see if we have any other date times imported. We have this, so let's just override it with this UTC that I added in. And then it's saying inside here, let's go ahead and use this default lambda date time of this. All right, let's see what happens here. All right, that looked like it might have fixed that problem. And if we close here, we can just get out and we can see we're using a lambda of datetime.now.utc. And we can go ahead and just do the exact same thing on the other places that are throwing the same error. If we keep scrolling down, we can see that there's going to be a session local issue. We can just say fix in chat, variable not allowed in the type expression. It's trying to figure out why. Telling us it's because we are not using dependency injection. We are using this thing called next. So right here, we can just go ahead and say depends. And we are getting a similar error still. So let's come over here and say, hey, this doesn't seem to be working in our application. But what we can do, we can say from our main.py file, we want to ask a specific question. We can say, there seems to be an error with this piece of code. So I asked it, this doesn't seem to be working if we have all of our imports. So right here, we can see that it does tell us to import our depends, which is a good sign. So we can come up here, say we want to import our dependency injection. And then if we scroll down a little bit more, we can see that they're still getting an error on this session local. So let's just hover over this and say fix an AI again, see if it's telling us any other issues that could be happening right here. It's telling us right here, that's kind of funny. It's already telling us the next issue, which is this. .dict is getting deprecated as well, and it's going to become model dump. So that's kind of cool that it's already telling us the future errors that are happening. But what we really need is to get this session local fixed. So right here is a perfect example that it can't figure it out. What we need to do is come up here and inside our SQL alchemy.orm, we need to say we want to import session. And we actually need to be referring to session. But everything else seems to be okay. So now if we just come down here and we change this to session, that should remove the error. So I'm just going to close the chat. And what we want to do is also depend. So I'm just going to say, hey, we want to replace this everywhere. All right, so after doing that, everything else is starting to look good. We know that this is model dump now. Cursor told us that. And let's go ahead and just try and run the application. So it needed me to be able to do a little bit of help to get some of the sessions and stuff running. But now let's go ahead and try it. All right, so now we got a bug. So let's go ahead and see what this bug is. So I'm just going to copy this and just ask it in our chat and saying, when building this project, I am getting this error. And let's see what happens. The error you're encountering is due to small mistakes in how you're using depends function with your route functions. All right, so let's fix this. If we go over here and we kind of just look at it, it's telling us our existing codes and then our endpoints. So I'm just going to grab this code and just override our current endpoints with this. Boom. And now let's see if that actually fixed the issue or not. And it looked like it did build successfully after that. So now we can go into our browser and just kind of refresh it so we can see our Swagger, and boom, everything's looking good right now. If we say execute, we get no items from our posts. If we want to create a comment, we can. We can't create a post. So we can read comments and create comments. So maybe I overrode that when I did it before, but that's okay. So what we can do here is just scroll down and we can say read posts right here. It's going to ask us what we want. We can say Command K to ask right here and say, I want a way to create and delete posts. I'm going to say an API endpoint. API endpoint, create and delete posts. All right, let's generate it. And it's going to create our /post with our create post. Ooh, it learned from before, so we can see that these are going to be new comments based on our main.py file, because it's going to be using the session depends, and it's going to be using model dump. We're going to add it to our database, and then we're going to return that DB post. And then to delete it, we just need to pass in the ID. We need to find the first match. If it doesn't match, throw an exception. If not, delete it and then return this dictionary. Looks good to me. Let's go ahead and kick off this app again. Let's refresh, and now we can see that we have some new endpoints. So if we want to create a new post, we can say right here, first post. This image URL is usually to an external image, so we can just say path to image. And I'm going to say execute. We get a status 200 with an ID of 1 automatically incremented. We have our source to our image and our content. So now if we went ahead and said we want to read all of our posts, we can see that we have it. And let's go ahead and say we wanted to add a comment to that post. And we can say first comment. All right, first comment. And we can go ahead and read the comments from this post. However, what I usually like to do is some kind of merge functionality. And that's like, hey, when there is a endpoint that hits the post, I just want to grab the first 10 comments automatically. And that just allows for a smoother transition. We don't have to call API endpoints in the background. So right here under this, I'm going to say, create me an endpoint that returns a post along with the first 10 comments attached. And let's see what happens. So it's going to take in the post and the post ID, read post with comments. It's going to have this with our DB session, our post query that looks good. Then we're going to get the comments based on the post ID, limit to 10. And then it's going to return what I think is going to work first try. So let's go back and open up our project, refresh. Let's do this, pass post with comments. That's the one I want. Do it here, execute, and boom, we have our post and our post body and then our comments. If we came over here and created a new comment inside, I'm gonna execute this a couple times. And now I say read post with comments. Look at that. Look at that. And this did not take long at all. It's not like it's a full-blown project or anything, but we're able to discuss with a chatbot. We were able to automatically create stuff. We were able to just be able to do a lot of cool stuff automatically without us having to Google or, really think outside the box. The only thing I had to do by myself was just add this session and kind of lead it into dependency injection. But everything else looks good. We're using Pydantic and it automatically created database tables using SQLite for us. So awesome stuff. So I'm curious about your thoughts. What do you think about Cursor AI in the future of AI development? And I will see you in the next video.